Good morning. Today we are going to discuss about the fault part 2. In our fault part 1, we have discussed about what the faults are, the mechanism behind the formation of the faults, and the basic morphology of the faults. Now we will see the genetic and geometric classification of faults. So the faults are classified on the basis of their genetic and geometric aspects. Genetic aspects justifies that the mode of its origin or the the exact process responsible for its formation will be referred as genetic, whereas geometric can be referred to the interrelationship of the structure or the fault with respect to the surrounding bed or surrounding features. In fold also we have studied about genetic and geometric classification where the process of formation decided the genetic folds, whereas the relationship with the features decided the geometric classification. Here also the similar aspect will be valid. So in genetic classification, we have normal fault, reverse fault, strike slip fault, deep slip fault, and oblique slip fault. Whereas in geometric classification, we have strike fault, deep fault, oblique fault, parallel fault, radial, peripheral, and etc. Let us discuss about the genetic classification first. So the genetic classification is basically based on its, the process of its formation or the moment of the blocks. So as we know that the faults are the factors along which the displacement has been taken place. So let us see the first normal fault. What actual normal fault is? Normal fault is also called as gravity fault, and where the hanging wall, which lies above the fault plane, shows an lower position in compared to the foot wall. Okay, so whether the foot wall went up or the hanging wall gone down doesn't matter, but their apparent position should be the hanging wall should be down, whereas the foot wall should be up comparatively. In that case, such type of fault can be referred as normal fault. Okay, this fault is also called as a gravity fault. The second one is the reverse fault. The exact reverse of the normal fault is called as a reverse fault, where the hanging wall moves up, whereas the foot wall remains down. Okay, so whether the foot wall went down or the hanging wall went up doesn't make any difference, but their apparent location should be the given in the diagram where the foot wall is up and the lower or the sorry hanging wall is up and the foot wall is down. Okay, so this arrangement will give rise to the reverse fault. Normal faults usually forms because of the tensional stresses, whereas the reverse fault usually forms because of the compressional stresses. You can see the red arrows. So when you compresses the rock strata, they override each other, and because of that, the reverse fault takes place. When the fault plane of the reverse fault is extremely shows very less deep. In that case, it can call be as thirsting, okay, or thirst fault. Let us see the another examples of the genetic classification. These are strike slip fault, deep slip fault, and oblique slip fault. So this classification is done on the basis of the slip. Slip means the displacement done by the blocks. So if the block has displaced along the strike of the fault plane, then it can be called as a strike slip fault. You can see in the first picture where the block actually displaced along the strike of the fault plane. Here we are considering the strike of the fault plane. Then it is called as a strike slip fault. If the slip is towards the deep of the fault plane, in that case, that will be called as a deep slip fault. You can see here the blocks is displaced along the deep of the fault. Okay, what is the deep of the fault? It is the angle made by the plane of the fault with respect to horizontal surface. So that will be called as the deep slip fault. And if the block shows an movement or displacement neither along the strike nor towards the deep, but along the oblique direction, in that case, you can call it as an oblique slip fault. So before classification, before understanding and classification of these types, we must understand the fault plane and its criteria. Here we are considering the criteria of the fault plane. Fault plane is the plane along which the displacement has taken place. Here we are considering the strike and the deep of the fault plane. So if the block moves along the strike of the plane, there will be a strike slip fault. If along the deep, there is a deep slip fault. And if it is along the oblique of the fault plane, it will be called as an oblique slip fault. These three pictures can explain to you the different types of slips the block can perform. Okay, slip here refers to the displacement of the block. Now later we'll see the another type of miscellaneous type of faults which can be termed under the genetic classification, that is rotational fault and pivotal fault. Here in rotational fault, you can see that the blocks are slightly rotated. Okay, they are displaced, but simultaneously they have possessed certain rotational effect, and because of which this type of faulting is called as rotational faulting. Whereas the pivotal fault is a fault where at certain point these two blocks are pivoted, means they turned or they rotated around that single point. In that case, that will be called as a pivotal fault. Okay, because along or at the point they are rotated, there is a displacement, but the point of contact is there, which was continued before the faulting to the after faulting. In that case, this will be called as a pivotal fault because there is a pivotal rule of that point. Now we'll see the geometric classification. In geometric classification, we have seen the strike fault, deep fault, and oblique fault. See, you must not get confused with the genetic classified strike slip fault because there is strike slip. Here it is only strike fault. That was deep sleep, but here it is only deep fault. Okay. There it was only oblique sleep in the genetic classification, whereas it is here, it is only oblique fault. So as I told you that the geometric classification has been done with respect to the interrelationship with the surrounding feature. So if you want to classify this type of fault, you must have to compare it with the surrounding feature. Here we will consider the bed. The black line you can observe on your screen is the bed. So if your if your displacement, okay, or if your fault plane is parallel to the strike of the bed. So you just try to focus it. Initially, we said that the moment is parallel to the strike of the fault plane, but here there is no role of fault plane. Here, if the displacement, okay, if the displacement or the movement or the fault plane is or the fault line is parallel to the strike of the bed, then in that case, that will be called as a strike slip fault. The first diagram you can see that the fault line, okay, or the fault plane is parallel to the strike of the bed, which is shown in the black band. In that case, that will be called as a strike fault. And if your fault plane is parallel to the direction of the deep of the bed, okay, now there is a difference in it. Okay, initially it was parallel to the strike of the bed, but here it will be parallel to the deep of the bed, okay, deep direction of the bed. In that case, such type of faulting will be called as a deep faulting or a deep fault. So you must be very clear that in genetic classification, when we discussed about strike sleep and deep sleep, then we were more interested in the sleep with respect to the strike and the deep of the fault plane. But in geometric classification, we are more concerned with the strike and the deep of the bed. And if your fault plane is parallel to the strike of the bed, it will be a strike fault. If your fault plane is parallel to the deep of the bed, in that case, you will call it as a deep fault. And of course, no doubt, if it is along the oblique, neither purely towards strike nor towards deep, in apart from these two directions, if your fault plane is there, in that case, you can call it as a oblique fault. Then we'll see about the parallel faults, radial faults, peripheral faults, etc. So in geometric classification, apart from these deep, strike, and oblique faults, we have parallel fault, where you can see in the first diagram that the faults are parallel to each other, and hence they are called as parallel faults. Then we also have the radial faults. You can see that they are radiating from a common center. In that case, they are called as radial faults. We also have the peripheral faults where, the peripheral means they encircles a certain area, because of which they have been named as peripheral fault. Then we have Echelon fault where the faults are slightly overlapping to each other. We also have conjugate fault, which, they are just conjugating to each other. And we also have ring faults. They develops a ring type structure over the feature, over the earth surface or over the rock. So they are classified on the basis of their morphological features, and hence they are classified as geometric classified faults. Okay, so let us revise what we have done today. So we have seen the fault part 2 in today's session, where we have discussed about the classification of faults, where in genetic classification we studied normal, reverse, strike slip, deep slip, and oblique slip fault. In geometric classification we have seen strike fault, deep fault, oblique fault, parallel fault, radial fault, and peripheral fault. Then we have seen that in genetic classification, genetic means they are classified on the basis of processes responsible for its origin. And here the normal fault and reverse fault are well-known examples, where the in normal fault the hanging wall is comparatively at lower position, whereas in the reverse fault the hanging wall is at the higher position. Okay, so their apparent position or the apparent moment decides their nomenclature. Then we have seen the strike slip, deep slip, and oblique slip fault. Here the fault plane is a reference mark. If the block has displaced along the strike of the fault plane, it is strike slip. If along the deep, then it is called deep slip. Otherwise, it will be called as an oblique slip fault. Then we have also seen rotational and pivotal type of fault. These are minor faults, not so prominent in the field. Then in the geometric classification, we have seen strike fault, deep fault, and oblique fault. Initially, we referred the fault plane, but now we will refer the bed. If your fault plane is parallel to the strike of the bed, then it is called as a strike fault. If your fault plane is parallel to the deep direction of the bed, then it will be called as a deep fault. And if it is neither parallel to strike nor to deep, then in that case it will be called as a oblique fault. Then we have some miscellaneous type of faults classified under geometric classification, where the parallel fault is there, conjugate faults is there, aneclon fault is there, radial fault is there, ring fault, and peripheral fault. So this was all about the geometric and genetic classification of the fault. So thank you very much for your patience listening. Thank you very much.